Hello colleagues, in this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to create final exams as well as midterm exams for your Hebrew courses. This is particularly of interest for the ones who are teaching Hebrew 2 as you want to prepare your students for the final standardized final exam that will always be made available by the end of the exam of the semester to all Hebrew 2 classes. So on the left side, what you're seeing here is my professor account, my teacher account on the Bible Online Learner. On the right side, you see my student account on the Bible Online Learner. I do this by purpose so that you can see what the student will be able to see once you have created your exam. When I'm going here to the student account and click on exams, you see that I have one exam open here. I'm obviously enrolled in the class of Daniel Olario, and I see that he has an exam open starting from today and ending by tomorrow 8 p.m. and students have 90 minutes time to take the exam, and I could click now here on take exam. This exam would start. So in order, let's see whether there are future exams available. Yeah, there are also a couple of future exams available. That's because I'm enrolled in the Hebrew Placement Exam course. But let's go back here to the teacher account. So in order to create an exam, you go to Administration, Manage Exams. In case of you teaching a Hebrew 2 class, you will see that we have the standardized Hebrew midterm exam here, and the standardized Hebrew final exam is presented here. So the Hebrew 2 final exam is a 2-hour exam. The midterm exam is typically a 1-hour exam. But that's up to the teacher what time you want to make available to your students. I personally provide the midterm exam a couple of times and then allow for the best run to be scored. Well, in order to create a midterm exam instance for your class, you click on Create Instance, and then you select the class that you're teaching. Obviously, I'm here having many classes that I've taught in the past or that I've helped teach in the past. Let's go here to, let's say, the Hebrew 1 class that I'm teaching right now. And then we give this a name. I would always try to make it identifiable for yourself and for your students. So let's call this the OTST 552 midterm, and then I would give it a date, 2025 November 3, for example. And then you select your starting time and your end time. Let's just make it now for today, and we just passed 6 o'clock, so let's start it at 6 o'clock and let's have it also finished today, and let's end it at 8 o'clock. So now there's a 2-hour windows in which students could take this, and then we'll do a 60-minute exam out of this. As you can see, this is not going to match, right? This is a Hebrew 2 midterm, while I put it now in a Hebrew 1 class, but this is just for demonstration purposes. Okay, so I've now created that instance, and you can see that I have now this class, this midterm created, OTST 552 midterm 2025-11-03. 60 minutes, and it's taking place right now today. As an instructor, I could also test this exam to see whether it does what I want. You see the exam consists out of 8 sections. The first section would be exercise 1, where just a few vocab items are being asked. Next, you see it's a very short section on vocabulary. Then the next one here in the midterm is on verbal morphology, where they get a few verbal forms that they have to analyze. And I'll spare you now the rest of this midterm exam, but you see how we have created that instance. We went to Manage Exams, then we selected the exam that we want to create an instance from. In this case, it's this midterm exam. We clicked on Create Instance. then we chose the class that we are teaching and which we want to make that exam available. So let's say, Hebrew 3 SDATS class, and then we give it a name, let's say dummy fall 2025, and then we indicate the time. Let's do here a future moment so that you can see how that would display for a student in the exam overview. So you see now in the future tab, we have this dummy fall 2025 exam that we just created. So let's go here to the right side where we have the student exams. And as you can see, we have now 2 exams. I'm obviously enrolled in this class in Daniel Olario's Hebrew 2 2025 fall class, as well as in the OTST 501 Hebrew 1 fall class taught by Glantz. That's why we have both now available. And then the future, you see that we have this dummy exam created for the Hebrew 3 class that I'm presently teaching. You can also, when we go back here to the teacher account, we can simply delete exams. For example, here, we don't want this for our Hebrew 3 class. You see now when I go to future, this exam is gone. And when I refresh the page here, you can see that also in the future tab, this dummy exam has now disappeared. And as a student, I can obviously now take the exam by clicking on Take Exam and then going through the different questions that are being presented to me. So this is how you create your exams. It should be a pretty straightforward action. Go to Manage Exams, select the exams that you are using. For example, for actually this week, I'm going to have the lesson 11 in-class quiz being used by the class. So I create an instance. I can do that right away for my Hebrew 1 class, and that is here the fall class. And yeah, I leave this name. I just call it lesson 11 in-class quiz, and this class will be provided on this exam will be made available on Wednesday. So it's now Wednesday, and then we identify the time. My class starts at 8:30, but I usually make it available earlier for the ones who want a little bit more time. And then the end time would be, I think it's 10 forms. It's not too difficult. So let's do 45. And when 8:45 is being reached, automatically the exam will be completed, whether students have completed the exam or not. And then as a duration, obviously we're starting at 20 and we're going to 45. So I'll make as a duration 25 minutes available to the students. If they start later, well, they will be clocked out at 45 anyway. So it's on them whether they want more time or not. Okay. And now if you go to text exams, text and exercise exams, here you have the, in the future, of course, right? So here you have this lesson 11 in-class quiz. What you now should do is when you are on the Learning Hub, you want to make, or at least that's what I like to do, I want to make a link available for my students so that they don't have to take a lot of actions and asking questions that rob them of valuable time. So we are going to log in here to the Learning Hub. And when we are going to my Hebrew 1 course, yes, my Hebrew 1 full course, when we go here and then go to lesson number 11, you know, see that students have this link. Go here to take your in-class quiz for lesson 11, and students only have to click on the hyperlink and automatically they are being sent to the exam section of the Bible Online Learner, and then they click on the exam that has been provided for them. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye-bye.